Welcome to the podcast, guys. Today, we're doing a special. We're actually podcasting out in nature.
We're in Sparks Lake in a beautiful state of Oregon. It's our first time here, and whoever's watching on YouTube, thank you for checking us on YouTube. Make sure you leave a comment if you like where we're at. There's two beautiful mountains behind us, if you can see, or as you can see. And if you're listening, maybe you could hear the mountains, but probably not very well. You should probably check us on YouTube.
There we go. So, if you're looking or if you're wondering why we are here, so we're taking a little RV trip for the past 2 weeks, and we're just exploring the Pacific West. It's amazing. It's a good time. We've been mostly 8 months in California, and now we're kind of trailing up north and seeing everything. The terrain is completely different. It's more luscious. There's no palm trees. The weather is different. We went today from 40 degrees in the morning to hang out at Crater Lake down to or up to 70 degrees, 60 degrees here at Sparks Lake. So it's been a nice change of pace, and it's beautiful how nature is.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Our journey started from San Francisco. We actually rented an RV from El Monte. If you guys are curious on our RV trip or how we do things, or a few guides that we created for you guys while traveling, well, I'm sure we're going to link them down in the notes section, in the show notes, and also on YouTube. This is all going to be vlogged for you guys, whoever's tuning into YouTube. This whole experience, this whole 2 weeks is going to be on YouTube. And like, it's cool that we make it for like everyone that's watching and listening, but I also enjoy doing it for myself, just so you can look back and think like, damn, I was there, I did that. Or because you forget sometimes about places that you went, the things you've done, and the vlog gives us a chance to not only showcase it, but also have it for our memories, for our future generation and future kids. And it's just so amazing.
I agree with you. So why nature? Why do you choose to take a travel nursing break and hop in nature?
Oh yeah, just start off, the beauty of travel nursing compared to like staff nursing is you're basically a freelancer, and you can take these little vacations whenever you really want in between contracts. And the reason why I decided to spend it in nature is because it's something that I don't see every day. Something like this is not available to me compared to somebody that lives over here, especially when we come from the Midwest, where we have just flat lands, prairie lands, we have corn, we have wheat, and it's just flat. And you don't see things like this. You have Lake Michigan, but that's basically city. And Lake Michigan and the Great Lakes around us don't give justice to lakes like Spark Lake and even Lake Tahoe. They don't compare. Michigan's a beautiful lake. Lake Ontario is a beautiful lake. All the Great Lakes are beautiful, but compared to Tahoe and like Spark Lake like this, where you can just chill, roam around, walk the whole thing in a circle, it's just lost for words.
I agree with you, yeah. And that's what's so beautiful about travel nursing. Just like you mentioned, yeah, you can go explore. And one thing about nature is we're so interconnected on the internet, right? And at the same time, we're disconnected. So nature kind of helps ground you. I feel like that's what's so soothing to me, to be outside. Supposedly, nature operates at like 432 frequencies, and that is actually a frequency that I believe you wake up. It goes from alpha to beta, and it's actually calming, it's nurturing. So like just being out here, just doing a hike, just listening to the lake, the wind, everything is just kind of calms you down.
It definitely grounds you in a very different way, especially because a lot of the nature things that we see are, we watch on video on Netflix, and we see all the scenic views even on YouTube, even us. You don't know this stuff's available to you unless you really go there. Like, yeah, there's video and there's photographs, but it does not give it justice. Like, you should definitely leave and go explore something. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. You don't have to drive hours and days away. I'm sure you have something available in your backyard, and it's just so grounding. Like, when we first started this RV trip and we had no service, I was like, oh shit, I have no phone. What am I supposed to do? Like, I was almost impatient in just sitting back in the RV. And that just shows you how connected we are to our phone, to our electronics. And just taking that phone away, or the TV, the remote, or whatever, and just taking it away, you almost forget what you could do without it, because you don't know what else to do without it. Because at home you're always on your phone, you always have something to look at, there's always some stimulation. Yeah. Also, and then when you have no service, you're like, damn, I have nothing to look at besides these 4 windows, and you start to appreciate it more. Because like you said, like our one of our side windows, it's like a bigger window, and you said it's a 24-hour TV. Yeah. Like, why not enjoy it? You're in it. You can't use your phone because there's no service. There's no Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You just, breathe in the outdoor air, and you just chill and not be stimulated by electronics all the time.
Yeah,
it's very relaxing.
It's kind of cool too when you do lose service and you don't have that option of playing the slot machine on your apps and on your phone, you realize how plugged in addicting you are to that.
Yeah.
It's like a little dopamine fix.
You really don't know what to do without it.
Yeah, and like the first time it happened, I lost service before, but of course it's new every single time. I was like on an app without even the internet, and I'm just like, whoa, what am I doing? But you just so subconsciously programmed to just going on these damn apps.
Yeah. And like even so with like apps, before bed I would always go on my phone, and here you don't have the chance to. And my recovery is great. I'm sleeping good. Like last night, you guys heard like noises, and I slept like a rock. And usually I wake up a few times, and even according to my Whoop band, I had less disturbances yesterday than I do on average, which is pretty significant, noting that both you and Luke woke up because you guys were hearing noises all night, basically, right? And I didn't wake up. That means I was probably so tired or just relaxed for the first time in my sleep.
Yeah, there was a bunch of people partying outside. That's exactly what's going on. And at one point there was a girl screaming. I was like, oh shit, God forbid she's getting raped or something. But it's like, no, it's just young people in the forest just having a party.
Yeah, and it's scary. Like at night, it gets super scary because during the day, it's kind of it's peaceful, it's calm, it's not too nerve wracking because you can see what's in front of you. But at night, when it's just pitch darkness and there's nobody on the road, there's nobody in the campsite, you're just at nature's disposal at that point. Whatever comes at you, that's it. Because if I can't see more than 6 feet in front of me and I got like a bear coming at me, I'm pretty much toast.
Yep.
Not to scare you guys about going to the wild. That's very unlikely to happen, but it's just things that go through your brain. Like one time we had to, like when we pulled in initially to, I forgot which camp spot it was, but we saw that bear. And we wanted to look through our bags to get a few things out of our bags, but we're like, no, never mind, we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't see anything, and we literally saw a bear, we pulled in, so we're just like, all right, well, this is it. We're just going to chill inside for a little bit because you're in a campsite, and these are national parks and state parks, and they're huge. So you're going to walk into or run into some kind of animal at some point. Even on the road, you almost ran into a bear. And it's very, it makes you feel almost small because you're very vulnerable here.
You are small, you're a speck of dust.
You're nothing. Like you are, it's you and the elements. Like if I was to be out in the wild for a day, I would survive, but it gave me like a month or a week, I'd probably struggle through it. I probably would get eaten by, I don't know anything about nature, so all I do is enjoy these views, and it's cool because when you go out in nature, you're very vulnerable, especially at night. That's why night's always so cool because you can't see anything, and there's just animals doing their thing. And my animals are nocturnal, so they're the ones moving out around at night while we're sleeping.
Yeah, I would also love to have the perspective of somebody that is like an outdoorsman. I call myself an outdoorsman. I love to travel and explore, but the real hardcore guys know how to look at a tree and know how to cut it a specific way or what berries to pick. I think I would really appreciate nature so much more. Not that I'm not already, but it'd be cool to understand it.
Have the education background,
just
knowledge.
Just like for example, our friend, Luke, he spins, he plays music, he produces it, and over these eight past months, you've learned how to play on the mix table. And now you learn how to appreciate music so much more.
Yeah.
You liked music before too, but now it just changes the game. So it'd be cool to dive into more in nature throughout my lifetime. That'd be definitely a cool goal.
Yeah.
And for those that are listening, I really encourage everyone to go outside and take a mini getaway, mini trip. Maybe you're a nursing student, nurse, or just somebody tuning in. Just take some time away from whatever you're doing that's repetitive, because you don't even understand how or what of a cycle you are until you just pop out of that comfort zone. And you just like Peter said, you were antsy in a way. You didn't notice that before, but now all of a sudden there's these new experiences, new emotions come into play, and you could just learn so much as a person. Like you have no idea how much you learn. We're only on week 1. We're actually on day number 5 out of 14 on this RV trip. Imagine how much more you're going to already learn about yourself, taking this time away, dedicating it to nature.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like the fact you brought up that point about learning more about nature, about certain plants. Like I would love to go on a camping trip or a hike with somebody that's very knowledgeable on that, where you're doing a trail that they've done a few times and they know what grows there and they point stuff out like this is, a hibiscus root or whatever, and that's like, that's out of our scope of practice. You could say, like, I could talk about nursing, you could talk about nursing, medicine, science, health, nutrition, and wellness, but they have a completely different background. And that's just so awesome. That's why the world is so cool, and that's why nature made us this way. And this continuous press or continuous shift in creating and trying to make us almost identical to each other trying to make us and conform to certain values and beliefs and certain ways of thinking, that's going opposite of where we should be going. Because society's in this giant push where
okay. I was wondering where you're taking this. I'm like, okay, hold on, we're talking about society. Cool.
Yeah, because we're in this societal push where you say something that might be obsolete to you, but somebody gets offended for it and it gets blown out of proportion, just because you said something the wrong way or you said the wrong words, not meaning it, and it's always so mind blowing that.
Do you remember the phrase "sticks and stones will break my bones"?
Yeah,
all of a sudden words.
Yeah,
do
but
now.
I'm not necessarily talking about words. I'm talking about like the conformation of like society into like one way of thinking, because this is the best way to think. That like takes us out of our skin, because as humans we're part of nature, and nature is different all around, right? That's what makes it grow. If there was only one type of tree, you wouldn't have trees around the world, right? You only have trees in one location because you'll only be able to grow. Same with humans. If you all think the same and you all do the same, you're only going to be able to grow in one direction and only through like one system. Compared to when you have different thoughts, different ideas, you can grow collectively in a group and function in society. Because like, look at the trees. Like, there's a bunch of different species of trees in here, right? And they're all able to function together somehow. Why can't we function together? They all have different purposes. They all take in different sunlight, different amount of water, but they're all able to still make this ecosystem work, right?
Yeah. Two good points from what you're saying. So, being individualistic is very, very important. We shouldn't lose that as society, and we are, correct? You're saying we're conforming, becoming more similar, because all of a sudden we're racist. This is happening. We don't know how to stop hate speech. We have to all think the same, one viewpoint. Everything else gets censored. You better think this. Genders are a problem. Now we call everybody they, that, right? It's weird. And just like a tree is growing next to another tree, they're not comparing themselves, right? That tree doesn't exist then. They're just all in synchronization with themselves. We could do the same thing as humans. We just have to learn how to get past that. And I think that's where I was reading a lot of stuff online, and this is just a opinion, but I do believe that we as like a human species, we are gaining consciousness. We are waking up to, there's some kind of shift that's happening in the universe that's making us more aware. Maybe some people more than others. And that's why, for example, like what we're working on, the whole Frontline Warriors, that's why it's so significant to me, because I noticed the conformation that's happening in society, and it's like, whoa, there's no way to stop it. You're seeing it more and more. The whole China thing, the whole John Cena thing we're witnessing, it's just getting really, really sketch.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're almost like putting up a movement to help combat that. Because ultimately, if we just become more conscious from this trans and all this stuff that's happening, we could all learn to love each other. And that's the secret for the world.
That is the secret. And like a lot of people that I meet, I prefer meeting people with different viewpoints, different opinions. Just because like we like to hear the same thing over and over again, and like to have our beliefs and values reinforced. And I like a good challenge sometimes, like good debate, a good argument. It makes me think, because that's like the only way you're going to grow as a person too. Because if you hear the same thing over and over again, that's that almost reinforces ignorance in a way. If you grow up in one city your whole life, and that city has one specific belief, like I'd say like the Amish, for example, not to pick on the Amish or
I'd rather pick on the Polish people.
Then even so you could even do Polish
like marriage.
People. Yeah, you could do that. So with Polish people, so ideally in the Polish community, everyone is born a Catholic, and they have their own values and they have their own opinions, and a lot of things with the church and Polish society I don't really see eye to eye with, right? But I was raised in that environment, and people that are consistently raised in that environment, they just keep harnessing these echo chambers, right? These echo chambers, and that's how societies and cities and towns fall, because they're not able to grow and expand. There's a reason why over the years the Catholic Church becomes more and more lenient, because they have to adapt to society's norms, right? Because it's not. We don't live in a time where, like, say there was a time in history where the Catholic Church ruled basically everything.
Yeah, and the thing is there was only one source of media.
Exactly.
Which was the church.
Yeah.
Therefore, everybody just thought the same. Now there's the internet.
Yeah, which you think about it, if you want to control a society, that's the best way to go at it, is do those kind of things, the things that the Catholic Church did back in the day, the things that other religions did back in the day, all those I'm not big on Catholicism. I think Catholics are great. I consider myself Catholic. But that's a problem. If you keep conforming to these certain ideologies, over time it's going to fall apart and break. It's not going to last you longevity wise. So that's why this giant push for trying to be all identical, all universal, all equal, all the same to every minute detail, it's going to lead to literally our downfall of the United States of America.
Yeah,
you know,
and,
if
and
you
it
keep
might be
pushing
already
this,
happening.
you know, I don't think it's going to happen. I think people are going to realize because there's no growth in conformism. There's no growth there. If you're going to keep following the book as is forever, then who's going to write another chapter? How's it going to expand? What if, you know, people that wrote the Bible just stopped at the Old Testament and said this is it?
What if you control all the people where they never have the ability to learn how to write that new chapter?
That's right. It's crazy.
And that's also scary too.
It's scarier for the leaders because if I want you to always be under my control, I'm not going to teach you how to expand your mind.
Yes.
But then that's going to screw me over because guess what? A leader at a king in another country that's going to be for his people and allow them to educate themselves and speak freely, he's going to eventually overtake me because I could only hold you down for so long before somebody starts asking questions and people go missing and then people are asked, hey, why is he missing? And then that's how it happens.
Yeah, I want to talk about opinions and social conformation because that's with the Polish people a little bit. But taking back to what you're saying, like if I were to picture our current society like in this medieval type of thing where there's kings and queens and stuff, if you think about it, they already kind of castrized men where men are so weak and I'm not bashing against women. I believe all sexes are equal. But for example, man, right? He's the rule in the way, the kingdom, the taker, the giver, right? He takes life and death. Alexander, all these conquerors. If you think about it, our current society like demasculinized men, created toxic masculinity where all these men can't empower themselves to pick up that pen and write that chapter. Yeah. So now you have confirmation on a greater level. And I'm not saying that a female can't do that, but I'm just talking about medieval terms, right? Just picturing that vision.
But let's be honest. Like, I'm sure everybody could agree that there are some things that men are more fit for and females are more fit for.
Yeah, just biologically.
It's biologically, right?
Technically, according to now, gender doesn't exist, so you gotta be careful what you say there, Pete.
Yeah.
But according to what I believe there's biology exists in male and female, just like there's masculine and feminine. That's the way universe operates.
Yeah, that's why it's so weird.
Yang.
Yeah, you hear all this like giant push for feminism, and they want to make females more masculine, males more female. That's that whole shift towards like one.
Yeah, that's what it is.
There's no more male or more female. There's just like one person.
Right. And
I'm not sure how far they're going to take this, because I'm sure on a biological level, there's somebody envisioning humans being able to choose from if I want to bear children, if I don't. Yeah. I feel like there's some crazy people out there that are thinking that one day there's going to be just humans on this earth that are able to reproduce based on if they want to or not. Like I'm male and I could decide whether to give birth or not. Like imagine that kind of biological change where we keep pushing towards. I mean, this would take thousands, hundreds, even millions of years to happen. Like what we learned from other scientists that explored the Galapagos, how genes evolve over time. Like you could theoretically push ourselves to that point. It's going to take years and years and years.
We are right. So you know how they're removing. You can't call somebody parents, or you can't call brother and sister. Now it's going to be just sibling. They're switching these terms in our school system. So for the next decade or two, we're still going to refer to somebody as brother and sister. But the next 3, 4, 5 decades, that's when the conformation is going to switch.
It's going to be sibling. And
you're going to be calling them sibling, parent. It's not going to be female, male, mother, father. It's just going to be sibling, parent.
Oh, yeah. You think it's going to go away?
Huh?
You think it's going to go away?
Well, I mean, they're changing the law, but it's just going to take time. It's just like your grandparents. They still think about one specific aspect of their reality, right? It's like God or religion. Now you switch, but now you're still thinking about it. It's just, you know how they say stories back in the day, used to this and that. Well, Grandpa, now it's different. Now I'm going to call it Uber. I ain't going to walk 7 miles, right? Perspective. They just don't see it like that.
I don't know. I think we're going, I don't know. I can't personally see a world where we get rid of the term mother and father. I feel like humans need to differentiate between certain things.
I hope not. So that's where the push is going. But that's why we're starting a conscious movement. I'm helping people wake up more and realizing to like what's happening. Even like last year, man, there's just like some weird shit happening things seem more Hollywood on freaking TV more than ever, and it just makes you question like what the heck is going on.
Yeah, and even if it's like two guys or two women, like it's completely okay to say two fathers and two mothers.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't want to take this agenda route here, or into this story. And the next thing I wanted to talk about was the whole opinions of others and social confirmation, right? So specifically about Polish people, right? Let me just give an example. So we are not forced, but our parents in the Polish culture would like us to get married early on or to find somebody. My grandma has been asking me, where's my girlfriend? You know what I'm saying? It's a social thing. It's an expectation of you to bring somebody, marry somebody in that time frame of age. So mostly as I don't care about those opinions, right? I understand my truth and how my direction of life is, but those people, if you care so much about that opinion, you're going to conform to that. And maybe that's not going to ultimately make you happy. If you're happy getting married early and you find somebody, go ahead, right? But if necessarily I'm not happy and I can't find somebody, I shouldn't, run around and start swiping and looking, around this lake here looking for somebody just because my family wants something from me. Right. And that's the whole thing about social, confirming of getting married early or having kids. And like, it's like you're born into this world already given a name, technically a gender, a school, everything's already handed to you. And it's like almost we have to like kind of unprogram and think about what we want, what actually works for us, what was given to us that's not necessarily us, but a thing from society, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's crazy because, like you said, you're born into this world with a name your parents give you, with a gender that you're randomly assigned to, and then you're also born with these expectations that your parents have of you.
Yeah.
When you come out of your mom's womb, I'm sure your dad and your mom has like a vision, like my son's gonna do this, he's gonna do that, and then you come out and you're like not the best kid, in school, and you get yelled at a lot, and then the other thing is like you're born with almost the societal pressures, societal norms. Like Matt was saying, majority of Polish people at our age, they're usually married by now. And there's always this constant push, I would say after the age of like 23. After you probably finish school, your parents will be like, all right, next step for you is to get a girlfriend and get married. Yep. That's how it goes. You're born, you go to school, you get a good job, and you get married, you settle down, and you have kids. That's basically the path to life for a Polish person.
Path life to many, right?
Path life to many, but given our situation, is for sure the Polish people, because our parents don't really care too much about us building a business or us trying to, let's say, progress in school or try to get the best grades or try to be a valedictorian or a CEO of a company or move up like the corporate ladder. They don't understand that really to the extent. They just want you to secure that job and then rest, make a family, and then you move on, which is pretty simple. And that correlates directly with like our genes and our human habits, right? We're born to reproduce, right? Yeah. And our parents, I guess, the path to success and like the end goal for them is to just settle down and have kids and reproduce. And that's basically how genes in that area of Europe where our parents were born in, that's how it's functioned. Yep. Compared to here, United States, where a lot of my American friends that were born here for a long time, their parents aren't pushing them to get married, settle down. They're pushing them to go through school, to get a career, to get a job. Yeah, I rarely ever hear an American friend tell me that their mom or joke around their parents to push them to get married or anything like that. It's only like a Polish thing.
And that's why that whole individualism thing is very important, because you have your intuition, your moral compass, and you start figuring out more about yourself. And it's almost like, I'm gonna use an example as an onion. There's layers, and maybe not every layer that the person that you think you are is you. Sometimes those layers were given by society, by your parents, by whatever it is, and that's the whole point of just kind of unprogramming yourself from society, school, maybe your parents, right? Let's just say your parents raised you to be passive aggressive, right? That's okay. That's how your maybe mother or father was. I accept the way that they raised me the best to their knowledge and ability. I love them for that, but now it's my work not to be a victim and undo those layers, right? That's how I kind of see things.
Yeah, you shouldn't try to think of your situation as in, this happened to me, so now I have this. Like, of course, that's just good to look back at that, to understand where these emotions, these actions, these thoughts come from. but it's not going to solve the problem of it. That's basically you're locating a book. Let's just say you're trying to fix a sink, right? You thinking back and understanding how things affected you in your past and coming to the realization of how it affects you and how it formed you to the person you are today. That's like the plumber picking up and finding that book in the library about plumbing. And then he reads that book. Reading that book is your understanding of where that came from. And then the plumber fixing the sink, that's you actually changing your thoughts and emotions by changing your behaviors and actions, because you ultimately know what happened, what caused it, and now you know that it's there and you're in control of it.
Yeah.
So it's basically like you're reading a book, you know? It's literally how it is. You're picking out a book, you're reading it, you're learning from it, and then you're taking that lesson and applying it to your life.
You make a very good point. And to kind of wrap up these points, and that's why we're so passionate about like starting like Frontline Warriors, because we've realized from our own experience, our own failures and everything that, you know, we're doing, and got a mosquito right here, bro. There we go. That we're doing is just like, not everybody has the same path, and it's okay to be individual and different, and we all could come together to be a more conscious society, and ultimately that's what's going to help feed it in a positive way, especially in a world full of dark, right? You just got to feed it love.
And the best way to breed consciousness is to first off make yourself more conscious, understanding yourself and applying certain theories, applying certain aspects, certain changes to your life, and you actually changing, and then you understanding the fact that, hey, you're able to change and spreading that knowledge to other people. You're teaching other people that hey, I changed by doing this, this, and this. Mm-hmm. Here's like a blueprint. I can tell you how I did it. You can try it. And that's the beauty of it, that you can provide it for somebody and they could try it and it might work perfectly for them. Or they could take your theories, your concepts, your ideas, and they could shape and mold it with their own discretion into their own puzzle, and that'll change their lives. So the whole thing about being conscious is basically, you know, kind of about finding yourself, but not necessarily about finding yourself because
you're already there.
Because you're already there.
You just gotta go through the layers.
Yeah, you just gotta go through the layers. You have to act on the thing that you like, and don't act and react to the things you don't like, because we have all these pressures in society, and people are telling us what we should like, what we shouldn't like, how we should act, how we should think, how we should speak. And then you come out into nature and realize, hey, there's nobody else here.
None of this shit matters.
It doesn't matter. There's nobody telling me how to do things, how to pose, how to take a picture, how to write something, how to change a Foley or anything like that. It makes you appreciate yourself, because only thing you have here is yourself. That's the beauty of nature. That's when people go out in nature to discover themselves, is because there's nothing over here telling you what to do. You don't have the birds whispering in your ear. You don't have the bear, nudging your shoulder. Hey, do this, do that. This looks dumb. There's nothing here but you and your thoughts.
Yep.
And it's really secluding, and it's really refreshing, because you really get to understand the way you think and the way you truly think, because there's no other sources of information here. There's nobody else talking to you, and it's just you. And it's something that everybody should do multiple times a year in their lifetime, just to refresh them and just reground. And like Matt says, be more present in the source, because we really are minuscule, and people would try to micromanage you or try to change your opinions based on their opinions, and it's really meaningless, because your opinion is your opinion, and it's your thought, and it's the way you see things. Everyone lives a different life, lives a different journey, came through to this point in time living life completely differently, and you shouldn't have them change your core values because they haven't done what you've done.
Yeah.
So just do you, be you, and go do some exploring once in a while.
And ultimately that is toxic, meaning it radiates to other people, and other people like see your energy and see how different you are, and you're happy, and they're going to be attracted to that, and you could spread that goodness into the world, and that's what we're trying to do. One person at a time, one soul at a time. I like this episode, Out of Nature. This was completely unplanned, and we just started talking, and nature created this episode for us in a way.
Really, for real. This view is like amazing. There's literally 2 mountains behind us with snow on it, and we literally, like Matt said in the beginning of the episode, we went through a snowfall yesterday. We got snowed in yesterday. It was raining in the morning. There was fog. We were dressed up in coats, jackets, hats, and then we literally drove for like an hour, and now we're in t-shirts, and we had shorts a little bit ago, but now we're sitting on wood. But for all travel nurses listening out there, I think it's about time everyone took a break from a travel nurse contract. And by the time this episode airs, it'll be June, July-ish. Ideal time to get your tan going, take a break, take a month off, take 2 weeks off, take 2 months off, 3 months off. Just take something off. We've all been working hard during COVID-19, and we all could use a break.
I agree, man. And if you guys want to see more information about us, couplenurses.com, wearefrontlinewarriors.com for the movement that we're starting. Thank you guys for listening. Appreciate you guys. We're going to go back into this beautiful view in the back.
And make sure to check out the vlog on YouTube, Couple Nurses. Peace.